Welcome again to the brandylibrary.tv Ambassador Series. And today we go to Sweden with whiskey. And Jonathan Lux, I said it right. Jonathan, nice having
Pleasure
you
to
here.
meet you.
It's quite a special treat for us because, first of all, it's not every day that whiskey from this part of the world is created, and then it's certainly not every day that the United States of America let a non-Scottish or Irish or American whiskey be consumed on this soil. So we're quite happy. How do you say it? How do you pronounce it?
I pronounce it MacMyra. So it's quite hard to say, but yeah, you see the spelling, M-A-C-K-M-Y-R-A. And that's actually the name of the village where we have our distillery. So it's 1.5 hours north from Stockholm on the Baltic Sea coast. So it's quite middle of the country in Sweden.
Very good.
So it means, I can tell you the story behind the name. It's the name of the village, and it's an old village, and actually the first letters, Mac, the first 4 letters means like a mosquito in the area. And myr is like a dried wetland, so it's an old mill. So that's the name of the village. It's an old
very
name.
good. Does that mean that you're using a mill now, the distillery?
Not longer. It used to be a mill. So. Now it's a distillery. So it's a beautiful place.
Very good. Now, when did that start?
The distillery we founded in '99.
Okay.
Actually, the company, the story behind the company started in '98. The founders, 8 founders of the company, 4 men and 4 women, and they get to know each other. They studied together at the Royal Engineering School in Stockholm. This was a couple of years before. And they went for a skiing trip because it's very popular to ski in the winter in Sweden, in the mountains. And they went for a weekend for a skiing trip, and everyone brought each bottle of whiskey. It was bourbon and single malts. So they started a whiskey tasting. And it ended up with, they asked each other, is it possible to create a whiskey in Sweden? And how someone tried it before? And is it possible? Do we have the conditions in Sweden? So they went to a couple of trips after this skiing trip.
So it was not just a night of fun having whiskey. It was actually sober enough.
No. They were not sober,
trip.
At all. It was a fun evening. The starting, and talk to each other regarding whiskey and is it possible? And the question survived the night of whiskey. So the day after, the Sunday.
Obviously, it is possible.
Yeah, it's possible. We have great conditions in Sweden. We're doing a single malt whiskey. So it's 100% barley, malted barley, of course. And a lot of the barley that we have in Sweden, we actually export to Scotland and Ireland because we have so great conditions.
Because you've got great.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. So then, the barley is from Sweden. Who is doing the malting?
It's a company in Sweden who doing all the malting for us, and it's quite close to the distillery. So we only use that source, and we have the farmers. We only pick the barley from a couple of farmers all the time, so we have the traceability down to every single barley. So that's really important.
What kind of water is?
It's a local source. Very close to the distillery that we use. So it's natural water, very close to the distillery that we use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, since we've talked about this, and obviously it's a great whiskey. Hopefully you'll get to know that soon. It's a very good whiskey. But now, can we say that this is just another version of an equivalent of a Scotch whiskey? What is specific about it?
Very good question. Except for us from the beginning was very important to create our own style and our own character. And have a unique whiskey because it's so many distilleries, single malt distilleries and bourbon distilleries as well. And to be competitive in the market, you have to have, for the first thing, you have to have a great quality in the product. You have to be competitive with the best spirits in the world. And then you have to have your own taste. And actually, I think we have a unique taste. And the reason for that is a bunch of different things. Of course, all the ingredients are local. But then we have the barrels that we use first fill bourbon barrels, and we use virgin sherry as a virgin Spanish oak actually, and virgin Swedish oak. So the Swedish oak is very
special.
Yeah, that's very special for us, and
it gives people excited.
It gets the whiskey a very, very different taste and a unique taste. The Swedish oak, it's very spicy and powerful.
But when you say Swedish oak, what do you mean? Is it the same oak species that you can find elsewhere in Europe?
Yeah.
Would it be the same oak?
Quercus robur. Yeah.
All right, so Quercus robur, but grown in Sweden.
Yeah, from one island. We only picked the oak from one barrel in Sweden, from an island actually.
All right.
Because that's the best oak that you can find, because it was meant for the Navy from the beginning to build ships. But now we use it for our whiskey, because you don't build ships anymore of oak, of course, these days.
Yeah. The French tried to do the same with Colbert.
Yeah.
And because they thought that they would eventually win at sea against the English, that never really happened. But these great forests were created.
So
and
it's
still
perfect for
maintain-
us. So it's owned by the government, and they only a couple of different projects that are possible to buy the oak. So it's the best quality that you can find.
Very good. Well, that's unusual, because so far I'm not aware of any other whiskey that goes and locates some oak from Sweden in
No.
order to mature spirits. Maybe it happens. But
No, I don't
not-
think.
not
I
be
never
aware.
heard about any companies. I don't think so.
But now, who's doing the, I guess, the toasting or the charring?
Yeah, it's actually one cooper in Sweden.
Okay.
So we use him, and he built our Swedish oak from the beginning. Also the Spanish oak. And then we have he don't build the Spanish oak, but we have a cooper in Spain as well. So one cooper in Sweden is a Swedish, the only cooper in Sweden, and we have a cooper in Spain as well.
All right. Who came up with that idea of the Swedish oak and the fact that you want to use more virgin
Yeah.
oaks? Because that's not common.
It was the founders, and they discussed this. Take from 1999 to 2002 to develop the recipes. It took a couple of years. What's Swedish whiskey? What can we do? What can we add? And what taste do we want to have? And so it took a couple of years, and it ended up with the two recipes from the beginning. Was one we call the elegant recipe. That's the unpeated recipe. And then we have a peated recipe, and we use Swedish peat. And then we use juniper twigs.
Right.
Because it's a tradition in Sweden, in Scandinavia,
Speak
to
of
use
the- wow, and,
to use it.
in the whiskey making in Sweden. That's very interesting.
Yeah, and you have to find these couple of unique things that you can use, and then it's the barrel thing. Because Swedish oak, to make a Swedish whiskey, you have to use Swedish ingredients, and then if it's possible to find oak in Sweden, then we have to try it, and it was a source at this island.
But now, of course, the question that's burning my lips is: are you also aging strictly in Swedish oak and letting it be for further maturation? And
Yes, but we have a very limited amount of Swedish oak. But we have 100% Swedish oak. Of course, we have that. But we haven't launched a product with 100% Swedish oak yet.
Right.
But hopefully,
well,
because
you're getting us excited with this. So.
because we started in 2002 when we built the distillery that we have today. So that's the capacity and the volume. And then we started that you can buy your own barrel and create your own whiskey. We want to be more than experience that only a whiskey product.
Also, that's that
Yes.
personal cask.
Yeah, so you
program.
buy a 30-liter barrel, then you can choose from the two recipes, the elegant and the peated recipe, and then we have the three different oak. We have the bourbon, American oak, and then the Spanish oak, and then the Swedish oak. So 6 different recipes. So it's very popular, and we want to be, we're open. We want our customers to be a part of our company. So that's the reason we're quite successful, very successful actually in Sweden and in Scandinavia. And so we have almost 10,000 unique cask owners today only in Sweden.
Wow.
Some recipes on our website. So if you want to see some recipes and cocktail, you can find it there.
All right, so that's MacMyra.com.
Yeah, MacMyra.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Well, the nose is absolutely fantastic, and it's actually quite unusual. There are some minty notes.
Yeah.
There are some. Well, I remember some of those chewing gums when I was a kid that smelled just like that, and I feel like having more than I should. Especially, it's not that late.
It should be quite easy to drink, but also you have to have its character and have its own style. It's very important, again the combination between the different barrels create our own style and the unique character.
So, do you think that after this staple introduction to the U.S. market, we'll see maybe a bit higher of a percentage of the Swedish oak, or what will we see next?
Yeah, I don't know. We will see what happens. I think we'll go for this product to develop the brand and our style of whiskey and the taste. So people, get familiar with what's MacMyra and Swedish whiskey. And I don't think we can do that for quite a long time. But we have a range in Sweden with different kind of products, with more Swedish oak or Spanish oak or whatever, and peated ones, more smoky whiskey. We'll see. We can add a couple of more products, but I don't think it's the right time already. But hopefully in the future we will have. And we want to the whole barrel ownership, create your own whiskey and make your own whiskey. We want to export that concept as well, and hopefully we manage to do it here.
But now doing so many of those have your own cask released over there in Sweden, does that still allow you to keep what's very good for the rest of the world?
Yeah, that's a good question. The barrel owners, buyers, we want them to have the best whiskey, but all the whiskey that we produce are the best quality. So we have, I can assure you that they have the...
No, so when you take them to the warehouses, you make sure that you don't take them to all the warehouses.
No, we have so far we have enough so we can create, the best quality regarding the bottles and the barrels.
Now, since a few of our viewers are, very fond of whiskey, let's put it this way, but also love what will not last and collect those whiskeys, if they happen to now go to Europe, is there any special or a few special bottlings that they should definitely put their hands on that will disappear, and a few years from now will be, wow, I've got this?
Yeah, we have one series that we have called the Specials. We have released 6 different characters already. Starting like 2 years ago. So if you can get your hands on one of these balls, you will be really happy because the special series. And then we have, today you can find a couple of them in Sweden at the Monopoly. You can order it. We have a Monopoly in Sweden, and you can find a couple of the releases at different travel and retail and duty-free shops like airports. But that's focused in Scandinavia. So you have to go there. You have to go there. And some of the stores in the bigger cities, like UK and France, you can find it there as well. So you get your hands on these products. They're really good.
Let's not forget that Sweden is a wonderful country. For those who have been there, it's beautiful, and people actually are very nice.
So if you come to Sweden, you have to visit our distillery as well. So.
But now, if they come and visit you, can they? First of all, is there a visitor center?
Yeah, it's a visitor center. It's open like the whole summer, and we have we'll build a new whiskey village. So it will be...
Oh, whiskey village. Yeah. It sounds like a dream.
Yeah, so it will be excellent to visit. It will open the whole summer, starting this summer, and then we'll continue. We're starting with building the new distillery, and then we add everything there. So it will be an amazing experience to visit.
Well, now, if they do go and visit you over there, can they actually walk on the peat that you're using? That the master is using?
Yeah, it's quite close, so we can arrange that. So,
all right. Yeah. But now, how is that peat different from say, Scottish peat?
We take it's Swedish peat, so that's make the difference to start with. But then we take the peat from quite close to the distillery, and it's not close to the sea, not that close to the sea. So we don't have if you have the Isla whiskies, you have the saltiness and everything. We don't have that kind of taste. Okay. And we don't. It's more. It's not that. Yeah, it's a big difference when regarding the peat and the taste of the whiskey. Because we want, again, we want to have our own character also regarding the peat, and that's why we add the juniper and the juniper twigs to have the really different and unique taste regarding the smoky and peatiness as well.
How do you say? To your health, santé or cheers.
Skål. In Swedish we say skål.
Skål.
Yeah. Really
skål.
Good. Skål.
It's funny. I love the way it actually tingles. It tingles your tongue and your taste buds. It's a bit of a sparkling. Whiskey.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like...
It's lovely. It's lovely.